placement challenge and how that is likely to pan out. And this question is not specific to your institution alone, but the broader debate that we are seeing all across the country about the slowdown that seems to have impacted some of our premier institution. Is this a serious issue, and is it going to have any impact on intake going forward?
So there are two parts. There are two parts to the question you have asked, and I think two ways to look at it. Firstly, placements are relatively speaking cyclical. They are in tandem with the elections and the overall macro situation that is there in countries where the hiring takes place. For example, the Americas, the UK, India, China, and such. So we need to understand that about 76 countries have their elections during the year FY 2024, and all of this essentially led to certain amount of caution in the recruitment markets. So from an overall perspective, one needs to understand that there was this particular academic year, which has ended already, was more of a seasonal issue, essentially a cyclical issue because of these macro level aspects that are there. Second, definitely the part which you are mentioning is true in certain sectors, such as roles of analyst, roles within the consulting companies that are there are relatively going down because to a large extent, as Professor Das has mentioned, technology has to a large extent replaced some of these skills, and in some sense you can say these roles are no more. Now, what we have to understand is we need to understand that what are the needs of the industry. Are we able to do exactly what the industry needs is to be done by way of regular, you can say, interactions that should happen. For example, multilingual skills, skills relevant to the social media, skills relevant to the sports management sector, skills relevant to what I call as country clubs. So there are certain sectors which were relatively, you can say, invisible and small, which are growing big time. For example, things related to healthcare. So one is identifying those domains, identifying the functional skills which will be the need of the hour, and identifying the behavioral competencies which would be necessary going forward, and trying to capture that into a certain fashion such that the young generation which is coming here with high hopes does not get let down. One part is marketing, the other is essentially delivering. So ensuring a very nice psychological contract happens before the candidate joins, and then afterwards executing and sensitizing them that look, these are the things which are necessary, these are the things which are relatively less important, even though you would agree some of the modern generation does go by what we call as the herd effect or the social effects that are there. There is this group effect which always is visible in almost every level. So one needs to sensitize that these are relatively less important, these are relatively more important, and move further.